You know, I don't know how long I'm going to be up here. I don't. Um, Raw last night. We're on our way to SummerSlam. Biggest show of the year this year. It is. And I don't know how long I'm going to be up here because, after Raw last night, honestly, there's not too much to talk about. There's really not, in my eyes. Nikki Ash, looking like a very weak cartoon McDonald's commercial character. We got Bobby Lashley stacking the former Hurt members on top of each other and winning very easily in a squash matchup. We got Drew McIntyre and a rivalry with Jinder Mahal, in which the only really reason that I can think of that he's in this to begin with is the fact that WWE saw the same thing happening to Drew McIntyre that happened to Roman Reigns when he was a babyface. And they said, we can't really have that happen, so let's get him out of the title picture and put him with somebody that nobody wants to see him on TV, and Jinder Mahal, and automatically keep him a babyface without the fans absolutely hating him. We got Karrion Kross and Keith Lee facing each other, in which fans are happy that Karrion Kross wins, but fans are absolutely hating the fact that Keith Lee, for the second week in a row, for his second week back, once again has a loss on his record. This time he's tapping out. So there's really not too much to talk about, wrestling fans. I'm not even going over my usual stick that I do before I get into the main reviews and things like that, because you already know to become a subscriber and things of that nature. There was a couple of things that really did stick out to me that I did enjoy. Not the entire show wasn't bad. Okay, the tag team division really does look promising in the future. I know right now you're probably sitting there laughing me saying that, but in the future it could look promising if WWE draws the story out. And honestly, since how they're thinking about going back to Saudi Arabia, I could see something lining up. But, wrestling fans, when was the last time WWE had a much drawn-out, long story planned that they followed through with? I don't think any of us can really remember that. But let's go over the show real quick and run this down. Nikki Ash. Boy, has WWE pretty much told us that she is nothing more than a cartoon character pleasing children and looking like she's in a superhero comic book or one of the McDonald's old restaurant commercials, when Ronald McDonald had all his super friends and things of that nature. And, she looks like one of those type people, being an inspiration for things. I know I watched Raw with my nieces and nephew last night, and they enjoyed Nikki Ash, but they did not watch the main event. And needless to say, they would have cringed all over it because she lost, and then she was like, "Oh, I almost won, and I think I can almost beat you now, Charlotte." Look, how about we beat you next week? I know it's 50-50 booking, but how about we have Nikki Ash pick up a W next week, okay, and continue to pick up W's next week, all right? WWE, don't have your champion look weak going into SummerSlam, all right? Because, quite frankly, I don't see her walking out of SummerSlam still Raw Women's Champion. There's absolutely no way. If this is the first impression that you are giving us of Nikki Ash as champion. We got Tag Team Championship on the line. The Viking Raiders taking on Omos and AJ Styles. Okay, AJ Styles and Omos victorious. I think I'm like everybody else when I say that I think I want AJ Styles to get back on his own soon. I feel sorry for Omos when that happens, but I've been wanting that for quite some time. Now, what's going to happen when they drop titles? Of course, it's going to be Randy Orton and Riddle at SummerSlam taking those titles away from AJ and Omos. Hey, look, it'd be a nice pat on the back for Riddle. He's been doing a great job out there. And it enhances the rivalry of Randy Orton and Riddle because, quite frankly, we all know that eventually Randy Orton is going to RKO Riddle to oblivion, and it's going to set up a huge matchup between those two. But let's be honest here. Who's going to take titles off of them? And I think since WWE is going to go back down to Saudi Arabia, there's two people. If WWE wants to drag this team out that they introduced in an official tag team matchup last night on Raw, and that is Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. I liked it. I've been liking their pairing backstage with Mustafa Ali being the mentor, so to speak, of Mansoor. So just drag that out to the Saudi Arabia show, and then, bam, tag team champions in WWE, plus the turn, Randy Orton on Riddle. Be a good storyline. Karrion Kross beats Keith Lee. Do I really need to say anything about this? Do I really need to say anything about this? I think everybody is in agreement when I say, Karrion Kross, we're all happy you won. And Keith Lee, I feel very sorry for you that you were gone since February, and ever since you came back, loss and loss. Give this guy some wins. Seriously, give this guy some wins. You could have had Karrion Kross come out there and be a jobber. Be a jobber. You used to have jobber matches every once in a while in WWE. You could have had him do that. You could have had Karrion Kross do that, and you could have had Bobby Lashley do that instead of Bobby Lashley beating the former members of the Hurt Business and Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Beating a jobber would be a good statement to Goldberg. Not, okay, I'm going to stack Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander on top of each other and pin them 1, 2, 3. I'm going to jackhammer Shelton Benjamin. You do that to a jobber. Have the same effect. Could have done that to a jobber in 30 seconds and have the same effect. Whatever. Because to me, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander would be much would be enhancing Raw much better if they were still a tag team and enhancing the tag team division. Because when we look at the tag team division right now, you got AJ Styles and Omos. You got the Viking Raiders, which nobody really cares about. You got Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. And you got Riddle and Randy Orton. And two of them is inevitable going to get separated eventually. I mean, it's just inevitable. So, wrestling fans have to do something. Now, when we look at Drew McIntyre and the modern day Fail Raja, Jinder Mahal. That will be, without a doubt, come SummerSlam, because everybody, I'll be at SummerSlam in Las Vegas. That will be my bathroom break. I'm just saying it now. It is get off my TV worthy. And it is not because I am not a fan of Drew McIntyre. I mean, I liked him better as a heel than a babyface. But it is not because I'm not a fan of Drew McIntyre. It is because Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre, I have absolutely no interest in. And WWE has not given me any reason to care about this. Drew McIntyre hitting Veer or whatever the other guy's name is with a chair shot 34 times last week does not get me interested. Have to give more of a story. Maybe history between Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. Whatever. I mean, but whatever. They're not going to do that. No, they're not going to do that. If they were going to, they would have already. I mean, they would have already done that. I mean, so that will be my bathroom break 100%. I mean, so when you look at Raw, that was pretty much it. I could sit here and tell you about the backstage segments and that kind of stuff that nobody really cares about. But the big bulk of Monday Night Raw, that was it. You had Jinder Mahal versus Veer. You had Bobby Lashley stacking his former members of the Hurt Business on top of each other. And you had tag team action. That was pretty much it. Oh, and you also had WWE making their champions. Yeah, their champions looking weak. One time I was actually okay with it because Damian Priest, I am a fan of, and I see him capturing the U.S. title at SummerSlam. They are not going to have Sheamus win at SummerSlam. They're just not. Now, would I have rather just seen a storyline in one match? Of course. Now that Damian Priest has won, let's just see storyline and not just match after match after match after match leading into SummerSlam. Okay? That's just what I would do. But knowing Raw, we will see 3 or 4 more matches leading up to SummerSlam, and then we will get the payoff match. But y'all let me know what you're thinking. I'm getting out of here. I can't talk about this show anymore, and I hope next week is better than what we saw this week. Let me know what you're thinking. And until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch all of you on the other side. Talk to you later.